So that's Christmas done. If I see another roast dinner, I think I'm just going to explode. So yeah, that's done. And I haven't done any fishing over Christmas. I've been with the family, but it's lovely to get out today. A couple of weeks ago, the lake I'm on here, this will have had a lid on it completely. It was frozen solid. So it is very cold, and that gives me the opportunity just to take you through some of the little bits that I'm doing to try and catch some carp, even when it's freezing cold. The first thing I would say is about your venue choice. You know, I'm not on a commercial. You know, it is a carp lake, but it's one that definitely offers me the chance of a bite or two. And it has got some reasonable sized fish in it as well. So it is going to be tough. I'm out here just trying to get a bite or two. Yeah, fingers crossed we'll make it happen. It's not going to be a surprise to you that I'm not heaving in a load of bait. That wouldn't be a smart thing to do, not when it's as freezing cold as it is. What I want is a small amount of bait that is really punchy, you know, something that's like kicking out lots and lots of signals and just trying to get me that bite. What I've decided to do is I've made up a whole bunch of these little mesh bags, if you can see those. And inside of those, I've got the Krill Squid ground bait with 2mm krill pellets. I think ground bait's really important when it's as cold as this. I just need to get some of that sort of ground bait flavour out into the water, you know. So I've got that mixed up with a little bit of water. I only want it very slightly damp, obviously, because otherwise it's going to melt the mesh bags. But what I have also put in there is just a tiny amount of the bait boost. So, you know, just a little bit of that, just to give it a little bit of extra attraction. So yeah, I've almost made up some really, really high attract small mesh bags. So that's what I'm going in with, some really highly attractive mesh bags. I'm not putting any loose feed out at all. I'm just casting over to the far margin with like a mesh bag on and a hook bait, which I'll take you through now. And yeah, I'm just recasting it every now and then onto the far margin. In terms of the hook bait, again, I want something that is really, really highly attractive. And these oozing pellets, you know, I mean, you can see probably my hands, you know, the flavour just like pours out of these, oozes out of these, very highly attractive. And I think they're going to complement those little mesh bags to, yeah, just be almost like a magnet, fingers crossed, and just pull those carp in, make them take the bait, even though they're really not even in a feeding mood. There we go. The rod has torn off. Just shows, did have to get that cast absolutely right. It took me a few casts and I was worried that the disturbance might have screwed it, but it was worth the effort of getting it absolutely bang on. Actually decided to initially only fish with one rod. It kind of felt like the other one was just going to get in the way. Sometimes do that. I'll fish with one rod and then if nothing's happening, I'll stick another one out. But managed to get what looks to be a nice winter common. Go get the net ready. And here he comes. You are mine. There we go. We've got our first one of the day, look. Freezing cold like a block of ice. But high attract baits, not much bait, but you know, punchy, high attract baits. Keeping the carp coming in cold weather. That didn't take long once I'd got my cast right. I think I was almost going too tight to the far bank, came off it a bit and had that common. Only took sort of like about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and a half, but it has gone quiet now. You might have noticed that I'm only fishing with one rod. I have got another bite alarm next to it in case I want to sneak one down the edge. What I might start doing is just flicking a little bit of F1 corn down the right hand side every now and then if I don't get another take on that rod, then I'll put a second rod out, see if I can nick one on corn. I think corn is a great winter bait. It really is. I think it's because it passes through the fish really easily, a bit like maggots. You know, stuff like boilies and large pellets don't pass through them as easily, and therefore I do like using corn, but I will use it quite sparingly. You know, I won't use much. Again, either little tiny mesh bags with just a few grains in, with a little stack. Do like corn at all times of year, but I do find it particularly good in the winter. So yeah, just popped up just like that. Oh no, listen. Here it comes, come on. There we go. There it is. And the rod on the far bank has produced another chunky little mirror, look. Not a monster, but at this time of year, just really good to be getting bites. Stunning. So about that, another fish. Yeah, very, very happy. You know, in these conditions, we're not expecting to catch tons. So to get another one, very pleased. Those oozing boilies, I think, what would be interesting for me is I wonder if I would be catching on those if I was fishing them as singles. I mean, they're so highly attractive. Maybe I'll give it a go. But thing is, I love my krill and squid so much, and you know, I wouldn't want to use big pellets at this time of year, but those little 2 millers going in with that ground bait in a little mesh bag, you know, I think the whole thing is just a combination that is working in this freezing cold water. I'm back in the water for about a minute. It's gone again. Hoping for one of the bigger ones. That was quick. I don't think he knows what's going on, does he? That time, it hadn't been in the water for 5 minutes and this little scamp tore off of it. We'll get him back. Hopefully we'll catch up with that bigger fish. That was like a funny half hour or so. I landed a mirror, then almost got it out straight away, had another smaller mirror. I brought that right hand rod in now. You know, I flicked that corn down the right hand side. Well, that wasn't doing anything, and the left hand rod, after being quiet for like about 2 hours, it just suddenly burst into life. Had a mirror, then had a slightly smaller mirror, and then I put it back out again. Unbelievably, I got another take. I felt like a better fish, and it came off. And it's gone again. It stayed in the water for 5 minutes each time. Oh, pulled out. Had to try and turn its head. It's always the big ones that come off in it. But there you go. Yeah, so gone a little bit crazy. It's starting to not lose the light, but what time is it? Yeah, coming up around about 2 o'clock. You know, it gets dark at 4 now. So yeah, we've got about an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half, to try and get that bigger fish. So there we are, it has gone a bit quiet now, so I think I'm probably going to call it a day, but I'm really pleased with how it's gone. You know, I was only expecting, like, you know, 1 or 2 bites here really, if you know, if you're realistic at this time of year. But it does go to show, you know, you don't need a lot of bait, which is what's quite nice. You know, you don't have to bring much with you, just a little bit higher track bait. And yeah, hopefully some of the tips in the video have inspired you to not wait until it gets warm. Get out there now, and good luck.